space, there's insecurity, feelings of insecurity, feelings of uncertainty, feelings of fear. You know, all of these feelings, all of this emotion, this becomes even, and we mention it, you know, Black Lives Matter, that movement, that all coming now to a head, because it's always been here. This has always been something that has been in this country specifically, that now is coming up to the surface. And so we're all being faced with that energy that has been looming in the background, that now we as a collective need to come into alignment with, and either move one way or the other. And so now that we're feeling it, we have the information, you know, our mind has something that we can point it to. And there's a few things that we need to practice. And one of them I'm just going to go into for the sake of time, which is practicing radical acceptance. And just acceptance, you know, radical, we hear a lot of the radical this, radical that, you know, it's great, lovely word. I know we used it in the 80s quite a bit. And we really, if we're just practicing acceptance, what this is, it's a distress tolerance skill that's designed to keep pain from turning into suffering. Now, while pain is a part of life, radical acceptance allows us to keep that pain from becoming suffering. So by accepting the facts of reality without responding, then we allow ourselves to be more present with exactly what it is that we have within our control to change, what it is that we can solve, what it is that just we can't solve right now. And then allowing ourselves an opportunity to make an attempt to change our perspective on the situation, because that we do have control over, is our perspective. And if we can't change our perspective, then practice radically accepting it as it is. Okay, so with that, I'm going to just allow us to take a breath in together. Just invite you all to really deeply breathe that in, all the way from your asshole, all the way up to your head. Just feel it from the ground up. Now, those pauses are purposeful pauses. This is that moment when we are allowing our body to settle, because the words can keep going and the brain can keep thinking, and the body wants to speak too. And the only way we can hear that body speak, and we can hear what's going on in our inner ecosystem, our inner universe, is if we pause and we breathe and we allow, with a sound, that energy to move through us. So, you ever heard of the phrase, suffering is optional, pain is not? Well, just to define the differences between pain and suffering, pain is a signal in your nervous system that something may be wrong. It's an unpleasant feeling, could be a prick, a tingle, a sting, a burn, or an ache. It may even be sharp or dull. The way we can connect deeper with that pain and those messages that the body is sending us is breath and sound and movement, breathing in, taking a stop, taking a pause, and then really letting that sound out, because that sound is vibration, and that vibration helps move things through. And you can feel that sound, and it carries all the way in your body. And then pause again. And then in that stillness, ask yourself a question. What is this about? What do I need right now? And what can I allow in this moment? What can I let go of in this moment? Can I let this go? And if I can't let this go, can I accept that this is where I'm at. So with that, I'm going to talk about the definition of suffering. Suffering is the interpretation or story that you tell yourself about the pain. These are those thoughts, those judgments, those belief systems from the past that are coming back. All of that, it's our allowing our interpretation from the information that we've received through our lives to tell us a story that then either puts us in a place where we're resisting or we're not accepting what really just is in the now. And when we think about it, it's actually harder to accept what we don't like. When we think it's hard to accept what we don't like, it's harder not to accept it. And so if we don't like something and then we're not accepting that we don't like it, like now we've added another layer on top of something that we don't like. So how about we just accept that we don't like something, and then we come up with ways that we can learn how to be with what is in that moment. And so with that, I just I want to also point out before we go into this exercise, a little guided clearing exercise, is that when we're accepting, it doesn't mean we're agreeing either. So accepting is not agreeing. I'm accepting it as I is. I may not agree with it. You know, when I practice acceptance, I can allow myself to be disappointed about a situation, to feel sad. I don't need to add the pain of non-acceptance to those emotions and those feelings. What I can do is when I feel pain, I can transmute it and release it rather than convert it into suffering. And how do I transmute it and release it? How do I personally? This is through the tools that I've been learning. And there's a great book. One of my mentors, her name is Lori Handlers. She has this book called Sex and Happiness. It's a primer on Tantra. It's a primer on sacred sexuality. It's a primer on just loving yourself and loving your partners more intimately, more deeply, and more presently. So it's on Amazon. You could check it out. But with that, I'm gonna show you guys, or would like to guide you guys in a little exercise, if you're open to doing that with me, that you can do this emotional release piece that I talked about. And this is how, you know, when we say the formula about practicing acceptance is you've got the problem, you make an attempt to solve it, you can't solve it, then you can practice sounding, breathing, releasing of emotions, emotional release. And then after that, you make an attempt to change your perspective on the situation. And then if you're in that space and you still can't change it, then you can practice some more emotional release, which is, for me, that could be, I'm breathing, I'm sounding, I get really primal with it. I'll like make animal sounds like, just, you see those ones like the Maori and all of those, the tribal feeling that they're just really allowing energy to move through them. That whole piece, it's there for a reason. It's there to get us out of our heads and get us into our bodies, and then come with that space. Now, can I change my perspective? And if I can't change my perspective, fine. Okay, now I just got to accept it as it is, and I need to move on. And I can come back to it at any time, but let go, accept it. I don't need to acknowledge it anymore. I need to step into another space where I'm comfortable. So go ahead and get into, you can either be sitting or you can stand. And this is going to be really, really simple. There's a few different ways to do this, and I'm kind of connected here. Let's see. I'm going to move myself up. All right. There we go. So first, I'm going to invite you to clap your hands together, and then just move them like you're feeling that heat in between your hands. Get some really good friction going. Keep moving. Go faster, 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 faster. Breathing. Feel that heat generating. Go a little bit faster. And now, slowing down, bring your hands down to your waist, palms up. and feel that. Now, as you inhale through your nose, feeling your hands, feeling that energy in your hands, I'm going to invite you to place your hands in this position here. And then inhale through your nose, bringing that energy up. Move it over your forehead, and then exhale through your mouth, and then bring that energy down. Again, inhaling through your nose. Switch, exhaling through your mouth and make a sound. One more time. Exhale through the mouth. Now what this is, it's called an Egyptian cleansing breathwork exercise. So what that does is you're pulling the energy up from the ground, and you're also connecting with the energy from the heavens, from above, and then you're clearing your energy field, your aura. So it's a great way of emotional release. Another way is, this is the most simplest way, hand scream, one hand out, another hand here, and shaking, and then letting a sound out. And you can do that if you would just join me in doing that if you'd like to. Hand out, one hand here, connected, bring it to your mouth, and then just exhale, breathe. Really feel that. This is an invitation. And see, this is another way that we can really connect with our fullness as a man, is like connect with that inner child, that inner boy, that inner girl. We are masculine and feminine energies. And if you don't believe in masculine and feminine, we are receptive and we are active. And so when we allow ourselves to receive in a very curiously playful manner, then we turn the mind off. And when we turn the mind off in that moment where it's saying, oh, this is stupid, this is silly, I'm too old for this, I'm too cool for this, you know, it's just like, okay, well, that's the ego. Thank you, ego, because you're here to protect me. I appreciate you. And you can stand down right now, because right now I'm about getting me clear and getting me right. So this is the essence of how we adapt, how we really get ourselves back feeling that childlike nature, that carefree. And I love her that your child's right here too. She just came in and was like, yo, hey, what's up? Zalki's cool if I join. That right there, that essence, learning from out of the mouths of babes, learning from the behavior of children, that's what gets us back into that state where we're like, where we can connect with our children deeper. We can connect with everybody else's pain and their experience, because we are now opening up. We are accepting us as we are, and we are accepting everything else outside of us as we are. So with that, thank you very much. I'm Johnny Vajra. I appreciate you all.
Thanks, Johnny. Yeah, that was awesome. And I'm gonna just make a big pitch for, if you always do what you always done, you always get what you've always got. Right? So be weird, do different things. Like, it's scientifically provable that like getting weird and be like, ah, is very productive for us. When ducks get in a fight, they turn around, they flap their wings to get the energy out. Right. So I think doing, like, I've grown a lot by doing things that are just weird, dancing around in the field, acting like a bird. Man, that shit was really freeing, let me tell you. So, you know, whatever your
film.
No, thankfully, but maybe in the men's retreat, we'll see. But it just, my point being, if you've always do what you always done, you'll get what you've always got. So do something different, try something new, I really appreciate it, Johnny. I'm going to go directly to Q&A just so we've got plenty of time, or we're kind of running a little late on time. So I want to make sure to give the audience a chance to jump in here. So what questions do we have?
I know I had more of a comment, and it was around Herb's comment about respect when disagreeing. I think that that's like a very interesting thing in general, but then specifically right now, to a couple of people's point about now we have an election coming up. And I think this is where the real men can kind of help show people. That's one thing I'm realizing, that every day we're actually, especially us influencers, which is basically everyone on this call and some people who can't join us, we show people how to interact. And even if someone's been doing something a certain way, it's kind of cool to show people that if we disagree, it's okay. Like we probably will never see eye to eye, like ever, on certain things. But I realize there's something in the maturity of not feeling like I need to be right and just